get some public input. Now, this is the first public input we've had, I think. I've been gone, but I heard in papers that where you indicated that you were making the decision yourself. Now, after 103 years of this mascot, how in the world could you make that decision without public input? That's the question I'd like to have you respond to.
Arrogance. It's called arrogance.
Well, we're not going to say that. I know Marty very well. And I just know that when we pass a school on, what you do, you go out in the community, you get the support, and then they support you and pass the bond. That's the way we do things in America, I think, is to involve the public. Now, I talked to some administrators and teachers who have been associated with Teton High School for a lot of years, dating back into the 40s and 50s, and I go back to the early 50s in my experience at Teton High. It was always an honor to be a Teton Red School. I was always respectful of that name. It had no connotation that was disrespectful to the Native Americans. In 1965, my wife and I brought 3 Native Americans up here from Navajo to work on various farms. One was named Melvin Sosi, stayed with my dad for about 2 years, went to Teton High School. I'll never forget the day he came home from school and he said, "I made the basketball team. I'm now a Teton Redskin." He said, "It's an honor to be a Teton Redskin." Now we're dealing with some deep-seated, long-lasting memories of this mascot. I mean, this is somewhat of the foundation. There was no disrespect ever. In fact, the administrators that I talked to, who had been involved in this school district for years, indicated he had never, ever heard anything disparagingly or against the Teton Redskins mascot from anybody in the district. Now that covers a period of maybe 60 years. I was here 60 years ago, and it was always a pleasure and an honor to participate as a Teton Redskin. And I support the Teton Redskin. Now, one statement I'd like to read. Got a lot of notes here, we don't have time. Now, the teachers here have received a pay cut, is that correct? This past year, or coming up here, is that right, Doug? Aides were released because of funding. Other programs may have been cut because of funding. And now we're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands equals 100. Yeah, do it. Tens of thousands of dollars to remove the logos, the uniforms, the insignias, and whatever associated with that beloved and revered mascot. This is deep-seated. I don't know whether you are aware of that. I wish you would have said in the beginning, I have an idea. We're going to put this out for public input right off the bat, instead of, at the last, at the end, to say, okay, there'll be a meeting for an hour and a half, where you have an opportunity to give input. That's not enough time to make this kind of a decision. Now, my last statement, and I won't read that word there. Are we that autocratic that one district employee can change a century of an honored and revered mascot without adequately providing public opportunity for public discussion? And the school board will stand by and accept that? Thank you.
Chairman Peterson, is this a pacification meeting.
If you want to make a comment, please state your name.
Hanson, you know my name.
Mr. Hanson, I know, before the record, we need your name stated.
Okay.
And this is not, if you want to make a
I
comment.
can't ask a question. You can't answer a question. I was wondering if this was a pacification meeting or if this was one to make a decision about this situation. That's the question, and you can't answer it. So I get the idea that you've already made the decision, which is too bad. But you're the chairman of the board. Did you hire this man? Can't answer that question either. Okay. Jeez.
We're not here to get into debate or into dialogue. We're here to
Okay.
listen to public comment.
You are the chairman of the board of schools for Teton County. You hired this man, and if it would have been in an industry and he took that kind of responsibility, he would have been fired. In any other industry in the world, except the school industry. You should have done your job. You didn't do it, and it should have been done. I told my dad about this. He's 92 years old. He boxed for Teton High School. He played football for Teton High School. And you know what he said to me? He said, "I feel like I've been punched in the guts." And I feel the same way, and so does 90% of these people here. Punched in the guts because you take something away from us that's been here for years and years and years. And you think you're big enough to do that. And I hope you're not, but I don't know. And I could say that because in a way I'm related to you. But Alvin Dowley came here in 1958. And he set a bunch of high school kids down and he said, "You know what?" He said, "You're going on a journey now, and it's going to be like when Indians come into fruition as a young man. They were sent out as young men, and they were sent out to do certain things and bring them back. And if they did that, then they were warriors." And Alvin said, "You know, you guys are going to do the same thing. You're going to be sent out all by yourself on that mat, and what happens out there and you bring back is going to be the thing that's going to make this worthwhile." And it made it worthwhile for a lot of years. And we were the Redskins, and we fought like hell. And we won. We won a lot. And you got the audacity to take that away from us. I just can't believe you can do that. History? What is this place? It's called Pierre's Hole. Why is it Pierre's Hole? Because it's where the rendezvous come. It's where they did the wrestling with the